What's up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steph, and today I'm trying something a little bit new. I'm going to be introducing a new show called the Tyria Times. I'm not sure on an exact schedule yet, but I'll give it to you as soon as I've got it. So the Tyria Times is going to be a bit of a new show about a game I love called Guild Wars 2. So let's get started, shall we? I've covered a few pieces of news from the last couple of weeks, and this is the first one. So, something we've all been waiting for is guesting. Yes, we've all been waiting with bated breath for an announced date on that because we was all expecting it around or slightly after launch. But the date has now been given. It will be live on January the 28th. Along with this, paid server transfers will also be engaged. So make sure you're on the world you want to play by the 28th. Now there is a restriction with guesting, which we sort of figured because there's obviously a European and American data center. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Guesting will not work across regions. So make sure you are on the server you want to be on in the region you want to be on by the 28th. And there's a very good reason for that. When you transfer server, your data is sent to whichever cluster you're on for the region you transfer to, whereas with guesting, your data isn't actually moved because you're still effectively within the same cluster. I'll link the two posts on this, on the guesting system being introduced and why we can't guest across regions. Okay, so the next news we've got is a live stream. Yes, systems designer Matt Witter, game designer Jonathan Sharp, and lead content designer Mike, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, will be talking about design topics currently being discussed in the Guild Wars 2 community. The live stream will start at 12 PM Pacific today, so make sure you tune in. There'll be a link in the description, and it's twitch.tv/guildwars2. And there's more than that. After a quick break for lunch, they will be back at 2 PM, and the developers will be answering questions posed by the community. Keep an eye out on the forums for a thread they'll be launching where you can pose your questions to them. And the final little bit of news for today is about the blog post that's been put up outlining some of the features we can expect over the next couple of months. So there's a lot of information now. I'm not going to go across it all. I've just picked out a few key bits that I like the sounds of. So the first thing is the achievement system in Guild Wars 2. Currently you do not get anything for earning achievements. Now that's going to change. They're going to be introducing a token system for your achievements. So if you haven't got that 100% world completion yet, I'll go and get it because I imagine that'll be a fairly large amount of tokens. So there's other reward systems being developed and their current reward systems being refocused. Let me read you a quick quote. As we look at developing new types of rewards further into 2013, we want to develop systems that are unique to Guild Wars 2. Our reward systems need to be exciting and include things that you want to earn over time, but we do not want to force players on an endless gear treadmill for new tiers of gear we will add every 6 months. You won't see another tier of gear between Ascended and Legendary in 2013, for example. Now this is amazing news to many of us because when the Ascended gear got put in, we were all sort of a little bit worried that Guild Wars was going to turn into a gear treadmill where you would be grinding for countless hours every 6 months to earn the new tier so you can actually do the content. So this is good news for us. The next part is our goal will be to use our existing reward systems and build new ones that are fun and exciting. That's a step away from the stale gear grind reward systems you'll see elsewhere. Later in 2013 we will begin to introduce more of these systems once we finish rolling out the remaining Ascended gear and infusions. So yes, there's more Ascended gear to come, which is sort of good news and bad news. It's going to depend on how that gear is earned, in my opinion. And infusions interest me. There was something that was around in Guild Wars 1, and I can't remember the exact name of the infusion, but it was actually critical to some of the content. Some of the content you could not do without a certain infusion on your armor set, so that'll be interesting to see what comes with that. So now on to content. In the blog post he talks about how they're going to keep it a living world rather than a stale world. So let me read you another quick quote. "We're working on adding new types of content to the game in early 2013 that will allow guilds to go on missions together. Some of these missions may be content designed specifically for the guild to accomplish within certain constraints or time requirements, while others will see the creation of new content by a guild everyone in the world can experience." So this is just a little thing I pulled out that really interested me, especially the last part about creation of content, guilds are actually creating content. Now, I don't know what extremes it's going to go to, but I like to imagine sort of the Foundry system in Star Trek Online, because that was an amazing tool for anybody wanting to create content. Now, I'm honestly not expecting that in Guild Wars, because I believe if that's what they were going to pull in the next few months, then there'll already be teasers of it, because the Foundry really brought in a lot of players to Stowe, a lot of players that wanted to create content for that universe. So the last thing again is on World versus World, and he talks a little bit about how they're going to improve the World versus World experience, and one way is, firstly, we'll be adding paid server transfers with time limitations and World vs World restrictions, and guesting ability, which allows players to visit friends on servers in every part of the game except for World vs World. Now, this is again good news as far as I can see. I mean, one of the worst things about World vs World at the moment is it's not stable, because people are glory hopping. Let's face it, people are going to the servers that are winning. So once they put this system in, hopefully it will tie up World vs World a little bit. The only thing that worries me at the moment is servers that haven't got a massive World vs World present. If people don't realise that servers are being locked, they're not going to go back to these servers with the friends on that have got a smaller World vs World player population. But again, this is speculation on my part. What I hope happens is people go back to the servers with their friends on to do World vs World with them, and sort of the servers get balanced out a little bit. There's already been a few large guilds that have transferred to servers that haven't been doing so well because they're fed up of stomping them. So that's good for those smaller servers, whereas our guild, we're staying where we are on Stormbluff because some of the bigger guilds from Stormbluff have transferred over. So it might balance out the playing field a little bit, and you won't see the same top 4 servers every week. So that's about all I've got for you for today, but look out for the next Tyria Times. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments below saying what you would like to see. If you see any good news tips, feel free to drop me a link either in the comments or in a PM, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.